This might be one of the last times Audi lets itself be this loud. Before we talk numbers, screens, or design details, just listen to this for a second. The deep growl, the crackle on upshifts, the way it snarls when you push it past 4,000 RPM. In a world racing towards silence, the 2026 Audi RS5 refuses to whisper. It makes a statement. And that statement is very clear. Performance still matters. The RS5 has always been Audi's way of showing restraint and aggression at the same time. It's not as flashy as some rivals, not as outrageous as a full supercar, but it's always been brutally effective. For 2026, Audi didn't reinvent the RS5, they sharpened it. Every surface, every sound, every response feels more deliberate, more focused, and more premium than before. Let's start with the exterior, because this car doesn't need movement to look fast. The stance is immediately more aggressive, sitting low and wide, with flared wheel arches that subtly remind you this isn't a regular A5 with fancy badges. The front end is dominated by Audi's signature honeycomb RS grille, now wider and more sculpted, flanked by sharper matrix LED headlights that give the car a permanently intense expression. The hood lines are more pronounced, guiding your eyes toward the windshield and emphasizing the power underneath. From the side, the RS5's proportions are near perfect. The coupe roofline flows smoothly into the rear, creating that classic grand touring silhouette, while the side skirts and RS-specific wheels fill out the arches beautifully. Around back, the oval RS exhaust tips immediately catch your attention. And yes, they're real. The rear diffuser is more aggressive than before, and the taillights feature dynamic lighting animations that make the car feel alive even when it's parked. This is one of those designs that looks expensive, restrained, and dangerous all at once. But the RS5 isn't just about looks. Under the hood sits a 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V6 that continues to be one of the most beloved engines Audi has ever built. For 2026, output sits at around 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, delivered with an urgency that never feels artificial. Power comes on smoothly, then relentlessly, and the acceleration pins you back harder than the numbers suggest. 0 to 60 happens in just under 4 seconds, and it feels even quicker thanks to Audi's legendary quattro all-wheel drive system, which puts every ounce of power down with absolute confidence. The 8-speed automatic transmission deserves special praise here. In comfort mode, it's smooth and unobtrusive, almost luxury car calm. Switch into dynamic and it transforms completely, snapping off upshifts, holding gears longer, and delivering those addictive exhaust pops on downshifts. Paddle shifters behind the steering wheel give you full manual control. And unlike many modern performance cars, the RS5 actually listens when you tell it what gear you want. Then there's the sound. This is where the RS5 separates itself. Cold starts are deep and aggressive without being obnoxious. Under load, the engine produces a rich mechanical growl that builds into a sharp metallic snarl as revs climb. Lift off the throttle in dynamic mode, and you're rewarded with subtle crackles that remind you this car is very much alive. It's not overdone, not faked, not pumped through speakers. It's real, and that matters more than ever in 2026. Step inside, and the RS5 reminds you why Audi is still considered one of the best in the business when it comes to interiors. Everything you touch feels solid, precise, and expensive. The RS Sport seats are heavily bolstered yet comfortable enough for long drives, wrapped in fine leather with contrast stitching and RS logos embossed into the headrests. Carbon fiber, aluminum, and soft-touch materials are layered throughout the cabin in a way that feels purposeful rather than flashy. The driver-focused cockpit wraps around you, placing everything exactly where you expect it to be. Audi's Virtual Cockpit Plus display is crisp, customizable, and genuinely useful, offering RS-specific performance views like boost pressure, power output, and lap timers. The central infotainment screen is clean and responsive, supporting wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, while physical controls remain for key functions, a welcome decision in an era obsessed with touch-only interfaces. Despite its performance focus, the RS5 doesn't forget it's still a luxury car. The ride quality is surprisingly compliant when you want it to be, soaking up road imperfections without feeling disconnected. Adaptive suspension allows the car to transform from a comfortable daily driver into a sharp corner carver with the press of a button. Rear seat space is usable for adults on shorter trips, and the trunk offers enough room for weekend bags or groceries, proof that performance doesn't have to mean compromise. On a winding road, the RS5 feels planted, composed, and incredibly confidence-inspiring. The steering is precise and well-weighted, giving you a clear sense of what the front tires are doing without feeling nervous. The chassis remains balanced even when pushed hard, and the all-wheel drive system continuously adjusts torque to keep the car neutral through corners. This isn't a car that tries to scare you, it encourages you to go faster because it feels so stable doing it. What really makes the 2026 RS5 special is how complete it feels. Many performance cars excel in one area and fall short in others. Some sound incredible but feel cheap inside. Others are brutally fast but exhausting to live with. The RS5 strikes a rare balance. It's fast without being intimidating, luxurious without being boring, and aggressive without screaming for attention. In a time where electrification is rapidly changing the automotive landscape, the RS5 feels like a love letter to traditional performance done right. It doesn't rely on gimmicks or exaggerated styling. It relies on engineering, sound, and refinement. And that may be exactly why it resonates so strongly. The 2026 Audi RS5 isn't just an update, it's a reminder that driving can still be emotional, that sound still matters, that a car can be both a daily companion and a weekend thrill machine. And if this truly is one of the last chapters of Audi's combustion-powered RS story, then it's a hell of a chapter to go out on. If you care about performance, craftsmanship, and that unmistakable Audi character, the RS5 deserves your attention. Because some cars are impressive on paper, and some cars make you feel something the moment you press the start button. This one does both.